Decidi contar até com 16 anos porque não dava mais, sabe? Pensava muito em falar, não, eu vou casar, vou crescer, vou ter filho e faço minhas coisas depois. Mas eu falei, não vale a pena, né? Não vale a pena fazer esse tipo de coisa porque acho que a
Chegou a
felicidade...
pensar nisso, então,
E muitas
em
vezes...
adiar, em tentar até...
esconder, sabe? Viver isso só pra mim e tudo. Mas eu falei primeiro que eu não mereço isso, né? Cada um tem que se viver do jeito que gosta, né? Do jeito que é.
Corajoso, né?
É.
15 anos ele tinha, né?
E você, Júnior, tem quantos anos?
Tenho 23.
23. Então vamos mostrar aqui. Cadê? Esse é o quadro do Vinícius. Vinícius é o irmão mais velho.
Famoso baladeiro, entendeu? Faço minha academia, corro, também foi impactante. Eu, inclusive, tentei agredir o Júnior, tentei realmente, né, me aproximar dele. Fiquei muito ofendido.
Você tentou agredir o Júnior?
Sim, no ponto de ônibus. Ele entrou, o Vitor entrou pra separar. E nesse dia, quem acabou apanhando, assim, por 2 foi o Vitor, né? Depois, poxa, né? Valeu a pena, assim, ter aceitado, tranquilo.
Mesmo sabendo do namoro, os pais demoraram para receber Júnior em casa.
E aí um dia eu liguei pra minha mãe, chorando. Falei, mãe, pelo amor de Deus, eu queria tanto ir almoçar com vocês, eu tô sentindo falta dessa coisa em família, sabe? Queria sentar na mesa com vocês, almoçar, ficar junto, essa coisa de família mesmo. Mas é complicado, eu não queria deixar o Júnior, né? E aí o meu pai ouviu lá de fora. E minha mãe entrou pro quarto chorar, começou a chorar. E aí meu pai entrou no quarto e falou assim, Suerda, pode ir lá buscar os meninos. Foi a primeira vez que ele chamou eles pra almoçar aqui.
Eu fiquei feliz, assim, o Ricardo me surpreendeu muito. Que eu não achei que ele ia ter esse tipo de atitude.
Fica uma coisa marcante, assim, em cima de tudo isso, o amor que a gente tem com a família e com os filhos, né? Se você não tiver o amor, você não consegue superar isso, não.
Madam Secretary.
Announcements by City Council members and staff regarding upcoming and recent events and recognition of citizens.
Now, Mr. Burns.
Yes, sir. Mayor, as you know, we're gathered here today in our pink shirts to bring awareness to the fight against breast cancer here in Fort Worth and across the globe. But tonight I ask my colleagues' indulgence in allowing me to use my announcement time to talk briefly about another issue that pulls at my heart. Ron, would you go ahead and run the parents of Asher Brown, who you can see above, complained to school officials in the Cypress Fairbanks ISD outside of Houston that their son was being bullied and harassed in school. The bullies called him faggot and queer. They shoved him, they punched him, and in spite of his parents' calls to counselors and principals, the harassment, intimidation, and threats continued. For years, it continued. A couple of weeks ago, after being bullied at school, Asher went home, found his father's gun, and shot himself in the head. His father found Asher dead when he came home from work. Asher was 13 years old. I'd like for you to look at his face. Unlike Asher, Indiana teen Billy Lucas, who never self-identified as gay, but was perceived to be by bullies who harassed him daily at the Greenberg Community High School. 3 weeks ago, he hung himself in his grandparents' barn. He was 15 years old. Minnesota 15-year-old Justin Auberg came out to friends at age 13, after which the harassment and bullying began. It grew as he moved from middle school to high school. When he found the harassment more than he could bear, he hung himself in his room and was found by his mother. Classmates started teasing and name-calling Seth Walsh in the 4th grade. It continued through his middle school years, where other students told him the world didn't need another queer and that he should, quote, go hang himself. On September 18th, after being threatened by a group of older teens, he went home, threw a noose around a tree branch, and he did just that. He hung himself in his backyard. His mother saw him, pulled him down. Seth survived on life support for 9 days before dying a couple of weeks ago. He was 13 years old. Teen bullying and suicide has reached an epidemic in our country, especially among gay and lesbian youth, those perceived to be gay, or kids who are just different. In recent weeks, New Jersey teen Tyler Clementi jumped off a bridge to his death after his roommate outed him on the internet. Rhode Island teen Raymond Chase hung himself in his dorm room. And we learned just yesterday of Oklahoma teen Zach Harrington who killed himself after attending a city council meeting in Norman, Oklahoma, where speakers made disparaging anti-gay remarks. There is a conversation for the adults in this room and those watching to have, and we will have it, that this bullying and harassment in our schools must stop and that our schools must be a safe place to learn and to grow. It is never acceptable for us to be the cause of any child to feel unloved or worthless, and I am committed to being a part of that conversation. But tonight, I would like to talk to the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17-year-olds at Paschal and at Arlington Heights and at Trimble Tech High Schools, or at Daggett and Rosemont Middle Schools, or any school in Fort Worth, or anywhere across the country, for that matter. I know that life can seem unbearable. I know that the people in your household or in your school may not understand you, and that they may even physically harm you. But I want you to know that it gets better.
Em qualquer lugar, ele era agredido. Tanto na rua, na escola, com a minha mãe mesmo.
Ele ia para a escola, os meninos ficavam zombando dele, né? Chamava ele de bicha, tudo. Ele foi criando aquilo na cabecinha dele. Dizia, avó, um dia ainda vou me matar. Eu falava, não, você não vai fazer isso, não.
Ele escreveu essa carta. Mãe, eu te amo. A avó Lia é tudo para mim. A tia Luísa também. Eu amo as minhas tias, mas a tia Luísa é tudo para mim. E quando eu olho para ela, eu sinto muita vontade de chorar e de abraçar ela também. Mãe, eu não sei explicar porque eu estou fazendo isso.
Você via seu irmão na hora do intervalo, por exemplo?
Via.
O que acontecia?
Os moleques iam bater nele, aí veio um monte de moleque grande bater nele. Aí eu disse, ali ó, meu irmão tá apanhando ele, e os moleques estão batendo nele. Aí ela, não tem nada a ver com isso, briga de vocês. Falou pra mim.
O professor falou isso?
Professora.
Ele não se enturmava muito?
Isso, ele ficava quieto na dele, né? Mas já, eu acredito que já havia alguma coisa diferente, né?
Nele. A família alguma vez se queixou?
Não.
Como é que a senhora, a diretora e os professores lidam com isso?
A gente está tentando trabalhar esse lado, mas está difícil.
So unless anyone else has anything else to add, we'll adjourn to make our decision.
Mary?
Hey, Dad! Dad, get in here!
Dad, hurry up! Mom's on TV!
Homosexuality is a sin.
Homosexuals are doomed to spend eternity in hell.
Right.
If they wanted to change, they could be healed of their evil ways. If they would turn away from temptation, they could be normal again. If only they would try and try harder, if it doesn't work. These are all the things I said to my son Bobby when I found out he was gay. When he told me he was homosexual, my world fell apart. I did everything I could to cure him of his sickness. 8 months ago, my son jumped off a bridge and killed himself. I deeply regret my lack of knowledge about gay and lesbian people. I see that everything I was taught and told was bigotry and dehumanizing slander. If I had investigated beyond what I was told, if I just listened to my son when he poured his heart out to me, I would not be standing here today with you, filled with regret. I believe that God was pleased with Bobby's kind and loving spirit. In God's eyes, kindness and love are what it's all about. I didn't know that each time I echoed eternal damnation for gay people, each time I referred to Bobby as sick and perverted and a danger to our children, his self-esteem, his sense of worth were being destroyed. And finally, his spirit broke beyond repair. It was not God's will that Bobby climbed over the side of a freeway overpass and jumped directly into the path of an 18-wheel truck, which killed him instantly. Bobby's death was the direct result of his parents' ignorance and fear of the word gay. He wanted to be a writer. His hopes and dreams should not have been taken from him, but they were. There are children like Bobby sitting in your congregations. Unknown to you, they will be listening as you echo amen. And that will soon silence their prayers to God for understanding and acceptance and for your love. But your hatred and fear and ignorance of the word gay will silence those prayers. So, before you echo amen in your home and place of worship, think and remember, a child is listening.
Go, Mom.
She did good.